Welcome to Insight Builder channel, large language model automators, Python experts, and front-end enthusiasts. Creating website front-end with ChatGPT. Done to perfection with Mint prompts. You must have already come across so many different videos. How this video is different. I try to break down the intent at each step of creating the page. You might want to build a ChatGPT web page if you are already an experienced developer, or you are trying to learn the HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and whole lot of other technologies related to the front end. If you are the latter case, where you are trying to learn the front end, then this video is going to be of great help for you. First and foremost, if you are going to use ChatGPT, you can avoid the mess of working with the website themes that you get from online sources. I am not against the online sources. Website theme that they provide, the index page, the about, all those pages have a lot of HTML, lot of CSS already working, and on top of it, it also imports various styles from the internet. So it can become overwhelming if you are starting to learn the technology, and at the same time you want to also master it. You can skip the part of writing the HTML. Only thing is you will have to know whether the HTML that is coming out of ChatGPT will work or not. For that, you can simply render the HTML output file, and you will be able to check it. Third, you can start with a very minimalistic design and color palette along with the CSS. So ChatGPT is really good in providing these things. You can also allow the model to populate the placeholder text. It is one of the major challenges we face, because you want to create a full-blown HTML website means you are going to type a lot of stuff. Finally, correct the design. When the design that you are going to make is not as per your requirement, you can actually change it just by giving natural language instructions to the model and get the correct output. In all this process, you have to know what you want and how you want the page to look. If you don't know this, then ChatGPT will not be able to help you. Apart from that, you also need to know HTML, JavaScript, and CSS basics. I suggest that you at least take a crash course on all this three tech and then work on this video. Apart from this, I have this particular video is part of the Django explained series. If you see the series itself, it actually starts by using this kind of a website, and you can see that in a minute. Just let me show it to you. It's still running. So this is a live website that I am already using, that I've built using ChatGPT, fully ChatGPT. So the backend is built using Django, and the code was written by me. But the front end, the complete whatever you are seeing here, the list that you are finding here, the layout, everything was done by ChatGPT. So when you are trying to learn a new technology like the front end and the back end, it's going to be linked together like Django framework, then you need to have the front end sorted out, or else the creating the backend and linking it with front end can become a tedious job. When you are learning, it should be as smooth as possible. This particular chat, I'll be sharing it with you guys. This is already a public chat that anybody can use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the various simple prompts that I had used in creating this page basically. So let us begin. Generate a HTML index page for a minimalistic website. So it's a single page that I asked, and you see that it creates the entire page, and it starts with the HTML header, and it fills the style sheet also for you, and then proceeds by creating the header, the top, the title of the website, the navbar of the website, the body, and the footer, then the end. So it's something that very minimalistic, and it provides the necessary data. So the heading, the navbar, the body following the footer. So all these things were created in no time. So it took less than 5 seconds for it. Then I asked to include little more details in the headers and footers, and it went ahead and added some more additional details in the header and the footer. it added some contact, etc. You can see that here. So it added some p tags, and it added some kind of the ampersand copy. So this ampersand copy is this particular symbol. You see the symbol, right? So that is how this gets rendered in the page. So these are all things that I myself did not know. So you may not know this, and when you're learning, these conventions can be little arcane for us. But anyway, now that ChatGPT is able to provide this, you can learn it really fast. I wanted to add two lists to this page, and I also gave some interesting request to it that make it as a places to visit in Django land. So I gave it a prompt in such a way because I was working for Django framework related tutorials. Now go here, and if you see the apps, and you can see the lists that is getting populated here. So this list right now is populated at the backend using the Django template language. But when I started working upon, these lists were given by ChatGPT only. So under the section, I got two lists, and this list I started using it as my basis. Then I wrote Django around this using for tag. So that is how I did. You guys can take a look at the other videos also. So that is how I got the lists. Then I had some challenges. I told, see, I want the lists to be left aligned, and I requested for two more lists. So then the things started becoming more interesting. So once I asked for left alignment, once I asked for styling, then then it starts working in a different way. Because if you want to align to left, you need to start working with the styling. But here in the first go, it did not provide. So I tell ChatGPT that it's not left aligned. So work on it. Then you see that it updates the style sheet. First of all, if you come here, it updates the style sheet, and then adding the information to the lists. And after I complete this process, I request for making all the lists above into Python lists, because I am trying to work with the backend as well as the front end. So in the backend in Django, I need to create Python list, and I need to send that Python list to the front end. So that's what I'm trying to practice. Why to type the list if you can get it from ChatGPT? So that is how I got the lists. And then what I did was I reduced the list length of the elements less than 15 characters. So here, if you see, it gave me a long character lists, which is not very easy to be placed inside this area. So it should be small, and it should also show what is going on, right? Keeping such a long text is not going to be very helpful. So after some tweaking with the prompt, we got a smaller length. And then I also wanted to create the lists of lists. So I had created total 8 lists till now. Inside the HTML, you have to divide the page using the divs. So it's a tag that can be used inside the HTML, and to which you can assign the classes as well as the IDs. Once you assign classes and IDs, then you can attach CSS to it, and you can start styling them. That is when I asked, so place the above lists in div tags, so there can be 2 columns of lists. So this 2 columns was created by using this kind of an output that you see here. So you see the div that is created here with a class column, and if you go up, you can see the column here. So this column style sheet was added. I also start complaining that it seems the divs are not placed side by side. The point is, if it is not as per your taste, then you can complain to the ChatGPT. So it will be able to provide you the details. But see, the point here is you need to clearly tell what you want. So can you recheck the divs are not placed side by side on the entire width? So I clearly say that on the entire width, I want this list to be side by side, but it was not that way. It was like this. So it was like this. It was one below the other. Then I had to tell it, and then it went ahead and again changed the column. It created a flex, and it told 48% to it, and then it started again populating. So you see it's creating 2 classes, and this section, so this section is also separately created. So that is how it was managing it. This is also additional instruction that I'm giving. So the instruction goes on till I get the final output. This is a back and forth task that took some 15 minutes of time. You can also see that I am asking it to create the nested diffs because it did not finally understand that it has to create the nested diffs. Here, if you see, the left column is what I wanted and the regular column is in the right, and these two columns are inside the section. Instead of creating the section, you can actually create a div also. That is one of the ways, but it took a different route. Then I asked it to create another one, styling for text centering. So it created a style. So all these things, if you see, I am specifically asking to ChatGPT what I need, and it is doing it. I am not writing the CSS or I am not writing the HTML. It is doing the actual writing, and I am just asking it to do. If you go here and if you check this, you see there is an input box, there is a submit button, and there is a query. This is where the things get interesting. So I asked it to add the text box and create an output location, and it does that. By default, it includes the JavaScript in this. Okay, but I am not going to use this for JavaScript purpose. I am going to use it for Django framework. But still, you can get what you can use it in any which way you want. If you don't want to use JavaScript, you can remove this. The necessary script also gets populated at the bottom. If you don't want it, you can remove it. And then I again ask it to change the user input, make it centered, and this continues for some time. And this is something that I never realized CSS can do because I am not really good at CSS. Once I looked at it, then I realized, okay, there is some way of using the type and use the text and then work on this. Apart from this, what had happened was as I went further into the discussion, I had changed the type of the input. So if you come down here, the input type is text. If you change it to number, then this style will not work. I had to create another one style called as number, and then I could be able to get this kind of a proper form. Or else these two are numbers. If you see, these two text boxes are numbers, which were very small compared to other text boxes. So then I asked again to ChatGPT that what is happening, and then I got this answer. Understanding what CSS is doing, what JavaScript is doing, and what HTML is doing is very, very important. You can see what happens here. So now I am trying to work with the sidebar. So this is where the funny thing started happening. Sidebar is something like this. You see this sidebar, you click this bar is going back, and you click this out, it comes out. So I wanted to create a similar kind of sidebar for these queries. But what had happened was, once I started doing that, if you take a look at this, if I toggle the sidebar, it actually comes out like this, and this entire page shrinks. And if I untoggle it, it goes back, and this page becomes bigger. To create this, it requires a additional number of CSS gimmicks. So if you come down here, there is a lot of new CSS data that's get added. So all these things were experimented, and then that is how I got to a place where I can actually start working on the backend. And all this time, when I was creating this styles, I was also working on the Django framework also. So it was going hand in hand. I was learning both Django framework as well as working on the front end also. That is working on the web page also. I was also trying to work with style sheets, and this style sheet placing in Django is a little more involved. So I resorted to working with the style sheet directly instead of creating a separate CSS. That is one of the things that I realized after some time. So once I created a separate file, it starts updating the file separately. So you see, this is the HTML index.html, and this is the styles.css. And you see the sidebar collapsed, the toggle buttons, all these things came into picture once I started to work with sidebar. After experimenting with it, I decided that sidebar is not worth it, and I went ahead with the simple query list here. So this entire area is in one div, and this is in another div. and both of these divs are inside another div. So let me show you. These are all very basics, but it is important that you guys understand. So if I click this, you will see that there is a content container. Above this, it is all the header, and below this, it is all the footer. If you open this, you will have the existing query and the list of queries here. And if you open this, you will have the text, the center text, the input, and the post form, which has the various forms, and the output. So this is the output that you will see. All these things are possible, and you can learn a lot apart from this also. I just want to share this particular process with you guys, so that you guys can also start learning the front end stack as well as the back end stack of web development. I believe that you like this video. Do leave a like and share it with others. Subscribe to my channel for further updates on similar kind of videos on large language models as well as Python open source ecosystem libraries. Till next time, practice, 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 practice. See you guys. Have a great time.